Family members of 13 people from the First Baptist Church of New Braunfels who were killed in a bus crash last year poured out their memories in court today.
It's day 2 of sentencing for Jack Young, the man behind the wheel. KXAN's Lauren Landman spoke with some who were in the courtroom today and joins us live from the Uvalde County Courthouse. Lauren.
Yeah, lots of emotional stories being told here in the courthouse today. Stories about strong women and men, stories about single mothers and marathon runners. Many of those who took the stand today say they are Christian and that they forgive Young, but it's been hard forgetting and moving on.
Yesterday was the most difficult. Learning things that I had not heard before was very, very difficult.
On day 1 of Jack Young's sentencing, experts laid out a picture of the scene and results of the investigation. Young's lawyer describes a difficult past, saying he was sexually assaulted as a child and treated for mental illness.
None of these excuses carry any weight with me.
On day 2, family of the victims took the stand.
I'm glad I came. I'm glad I'm facing him. I think that will help me to move on. I think this is probably the closest thing to closure that I will get.
Peggy Grantham lost her mother, Addie Schmeltikoff, in the crash. She describes her mother as caring, full of life, and hilarious.
My mother was 84 years old, and she said she was going to paint the fingernails of the old ladies. Some of the old ladies were my age, and she was going to paint the fingernails of the old ladies.
But with the good memories comes the gravity of reality and a big question. How much time should a person spend in prison after killing 13 people in a car crash?
I thought when I came in here yesterday, 2 years for each offense would be a fair time. Right now, when I turned to the judge, I told her I am glad that I don't have to make that decision.
The lone survivor of the bus crash also testified this afternoon. She told us about that bus ride and how she was talking about God and the beautiful landscape surrounding them just before every single one of her friends on that bus was killed. She also couldn't say how long she believes Young should be sent to prison, but that answer could come sometime tomorrow. Reporting live in Uvalde, Lauren Landman, KXAN News.